Welcome to Emporia, Kansas for the 2024 PDGA Professional Masters Disc Golf World Championships presented by Dynamic Discs. This is a PDGA Major event and we are so excited to be bringing you this coverage. I'm Nathan Johnson, joined in the booth today by Dan Brooks-Wells. How's it going, Dan?
Doing fantastic, man. How about yourself?
Not too bad. Really excited to get this coverage started. We have an absolutely star-studded card to bring for you all today.
Yeah, here in the first round, this lead card or featured card, Joe Rovere, two-time champ. We got Eric McCabe. We have Dave Feldberg, and we also have Dana Vicich. And I'll tell you what, these guys can play.
Oh yeah, just because this is the 40-plus division of Masters Worlds does not mean the quality of disc golf is going to go down at all.
No, and you are going to see a course that you're used to seeing on the Pro Tour. The holes are going to be a little bit different, though. In this first hole, we're starting off with this long par 5, 999 feet. As you can see, we're playing the shorter pin relative to the Pro Tour, but these guys can shred. These guys can bomb. So we're going to see some awesome shots off the tee. And here's Joe getting us started.
This is leaking out a little bit to the left. There is OB over there, but his check's up nicely inbounds.
And here's Eric McCabe. He is the local, sponsored by Dynamic, works for Dynamic. Just a force to be reckoned with. So we're going to be looking for some hot scores from him. But they do have to be careful. This path on the left is OB. The road on the right is OB. So you can let it rip, but you can't get crazy.
Yeah, that's for sure. Nice shot from Feldberg there. He's won this event a couple of times. I'm sure he would love to take another one of these down.
Yeah, and Dave Feldberg, for some of you young guns out there, Dave Feldberg used to be the top-rated pro in the world. So we cannot sleep on him. And here is Dana Vicich as well. This looks to be leaking a little left.
Yep, unfortunately, takes a little more aggressive line, trying to throw that full max distance shot, but doesn't quite turn it out enough, finds that out of bounds.
Seems similar trajectory. That's out of bounds as well. Maybe some first hole jitters.
You think Dave Feldberg still gets first hole jitters?
I don't see why not. I heard a famous quote. I forget who said it, but basically it said if you're not nervous on the first tee, then you don't care enough. So this is a big tournament. It's the biggest one they play in.
Yeah, you got a good point there. We'll see. Dave, if you're watching this coverage, let us know. You still get first hole jitters. All right, Joe Rovere, best driver of the group. As with all Coloradans, he throws frisbees an absolute mile. And with just two hyzers, he's going to have probably just a short pitch up into the green.
And here is a Masters play, playing from the shade.
Yep, shade golf coming in early. We love to see it. That's a great up. Should be able to save his par there for Vicich.
And here Eric is left with just a little pitch up to the basket. No problem for him. I wonder if some of these guys, they want to play the longer pins. I'm curious about that.
Yeah, I think it depends on the player, but there are some guys in this division that still have a good amount of distance, and I'm guessing that they're, kind of losing some of that advantage by playing these shorter, quote-unquote, tweener holes. You saw Eric and, it's maybe there you go, some first hole jitters from Vicich, just misses that short one. But, like guys like Joe could definitely birdie the long pin on this hole, but allowing some of the maybe shorter throwers to also have a chance as well.
Yeah, that's fair. And Eric's tapping his bird. Dave, unfortunately, has to take the bogey with the OB stroke. So we got it plays to par. 2 birdies, 2 bogeys. We are going to head over here to hole 2. This is a par 4, 740 feet. There's OB on the left side marked by these flags, and then there's a bunch of bushes on the right that you do not want to contend with. This is a decently uphill second shot, getting around these kind of guardian trees to get into the pin.
Yeah, demanding tee shot, you got to throw that big. Most of these guys likely to go with a backhand turnover. Definitely don't want something that's going to fade out. That was well thrown from Rovere. Doesn't quite get the full flight, but the shape was there, and keeps him in bounds.
Yeah, we've seen all sorts of types of shots on this. Something that you can't see is the wind, so that's something out here in Emporia, if you've watched coverage in the past, it gets crazy. So I'm not sure exactly how the wind's blowing right now, but it's always something to contend with. And there's an absolute rip from McCabe.
Yeah, turns the cameraman early. That was a full flight on that turnover. This is looking nice from Feldberg as well if it comes out.
Yeah, that'll do. We've seen all types of shots off this tee. Obviously, we're seeing the turnover backhand. We've seen forehands, rollers, anything you can really imagine.
Yeah, the tricky, well, obviously this is a demanding tee shot, but second shot is no joke as well. Kind of a blind upshot into the green with that slope. This is a bit overturned from Vicich. It's going to be in that right side rough. It's looking like just a pitch out for him coming up here.
Yeah, you can see if you get over there. I mean, it's basically a natural OB stroke if you get too far. So here's Joe. He's going to have a straight to hyzer shot into the pin. Just has to miss some trunks of these trees.
Yeah, looking nice. Gets about pin high. Doesn't quite get the finish I think he was looking for, but finds himself just outside the circle.
And Danny here looking to get up and down to save his par.
Similar looking shot. Gets a little bit more ground play.
Yeah, that'll be inside the circle, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, without not talking about Eric McCabe, you would think the other 3 guys on this card have still played this course plenty of times, as it's been, kind of a staple in the disc golf world for 10 plus years, 20, maybe even close to 20 years now, going back to the Glass Blown Open days. So, obviously there have been subtle changes over the years, but the kind of meat of the course has really stayed intact for most of that.
Dave just giving a little pitch up. Nothing wrong with taking a par. Eric might give this a little bit.
Yeah, not a bad effort. Just comes up a bit short. So another par save for Vicich here.
There you go. Get your round started. And I must say, that is a mighty mustache.
It is.
Love to see it.
Yeah, as you can see from the flags, not the windiest we've seen in Emporia, that's for sure. You can definitely get some 30 to 40 mile per hour windy type days out here. So seeing something a little calmer in the 10 to 15 mile per hour range is a nice, pleasant change of pace.
Yeah, absolutely, and it should make for some very scoreable conditions. We're going to move on to the challenging par 3, hole 3, 466 feet OB to the right, OB past the basket as well. Now, this is pretty far downhill, but you can see that you kind of got to deal with this low ceiling, 150, 200 feet off the tee.
Yeah, I think most of these guys are going to go with that kind of just straight at it backhand. But this is a hole, if you've got it, we see a lot of players go with that forehand. It kind of it shapes well for the slight right to left slope that kind of pulls your disc down to the left. So if you've got it, not a bad option. We might see some rollers as well. But it looks like so far we've seen 2 backhands out of these guys.
Yeah, this left side is just kind of safe. You know, like that's the typical mess up. You just kind of hyzering out to the left and then you pitch up. So, you know, if you don't get it turned over, it's still an easy par.
Yeah. Ceiling is definitely higher too over here, so it makes sense. This is fading out and could contest that left side OB, but comes up short enough. It's just fine. Plenty of space over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a tough hole to birdie with the backhand going down this left side, just because when you have a low ceiling and you're turning the disc over, it's going to tend to kind of burn over, like you see this shot do from Vicich. Just comes up a bit short. It's hard to keep the height through the entire flight with that low ceiling.
I love the look of this upshot. I mean, you notice he just puts like a tiny bit of nose up, so it just lands softly instead of rushing by. Really well done.
Yeah, and these upshots, you know, they are more downhill than they look on camera. So if you don't have that touch, they can easily sail 25, 30 feet long and give yourself a comebacker. But these guys have been playing disc golf long enough. They've got plenty of touch to their game. Looks like Dave wants to give this a little bid.
Dave with his patented little nose up stepper. I've been watching that for years. I love it. Usually see one or two or three or four of those fall. Got a couple tap ins. This hole didn't play too tough. It did play over par. 0.23 strokes over par, but for the most part, you're going to see a lot of pars on this hole.
Yeah, 76% of the field taking a par. That's not too surprising.
What's that? That's kind of the standard. It seems like it is now.
We're through 54 holes.
It is going to be an exciting championship Sunday.
Evelina with what might have been the single best drive in the division.
Evelina has been so good at throwing those direct lines.
2024 PDGA Champions Cup presented by Bushnell winner Evelina Salanen.
Visit quirkygoodies.com today. We have over 100 fun, unique disc golf tees along with hats, stickers, metal wall art, and much more. Use code PDGA20 for 20% off.
Here we are at hole 4. This is a par 3, 466 feet. There is out of bounds to the left beyond the cart path, and then the golf green is going to be the traditional OB.
Yeah, just a nice big backhand hyzer for most of these guys.
Yeah, it's decently downhill, so you can kind of crush something out flat or have something stand up and then just hyzer in.
Kind of like that.
And just like that. Thanks for doing exactly what I said.
Yeah, I would think all these guys still got plenty of pop to get to reach this one. Just a matter of having the right disc. This needs to swing a little bit at the end for McCabe. It does to creep it just inside circle 1, but might have that single tree to contend with on his putt.
This seems to be leaking a bit. Dave doesn't seem to like it. But I think it gets caught up by that tree, perhaps? Did it hit something?
I might have clipped some cabbage at the end, but I think he's still got a circle 2-ish putt. This is looking like a great line. If it has the distance.
Oh yeah. We're going to see a stepper here out of Dave.
Yeah, call Call it about a 40-footer, slightly uphill. I never quite gave it the height.
And you're right. McCabe has to work around this tree, making a little bit of an awkward putt.
Yeah, not able to connect. Just a bit low.
Here's Vicich to get him back to even par. There we go.
Yeah, that's a nice one to pick up. Hole 4 playing as the 4th easiest hole on the course. You can see not too much trouble, but a few less birdies than I probably would have expected. Only 16% of the field able to pick it up, so not a must-get birdie, but definitely want to be at least giving yourself some sort of birdie look.
Absolutely, and we're going to move on to hole 5. This is a par 4, 675 feet, OB on the left, OB on the right, playing up to this kind of peninsula-ish type of green. The tee shot is all about position. You can try and get it up there as far as you can, but if you throw it too far, you get those trees in the middle kind of in your way. So ending up on the right side or left side towards the, like, to the edge of the OB is more ideal.
Yeah, kind of just a preference thing of how you'd like to throw that upshot into that kind of pinching green.
Right.
Out of bounds.
You know, and you do got to get some distance off this tee. You can't just, you know, lay up one way or the other.
Good spot.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that got down quick enough. I know he didn't really like it. That got down quick, and he'll have he'll have pretty much the most open path to the basket. He's going to have to carry OB probably 90% of the way, though.
Right. Yeah, it's a scary shot, but it is the shot that gives you the best chance at the birdies. We see kind of a weird reaction. I usually expect a big skip off the cart path, but that one just kind of checks up short. And this is a pretty good pull from Dave. Checks up in the middle. Yeah, we'll see what these guys who are more in the middle of the fairway end up doing if they still have that wide spike hyzer. Looks like McCabe does have it here. Doesn't have enough distance. Oh no.
Yeah, he caught a limb and it dropped him, kept him from getting back in, and that's one of the dangers. Wow, and you can see Joe just going up the middle, not even testing the OB. Deciding to test the trees instead.
What a filthy shot. Just puts it under the bucket. First forehand we've seen from any of the competitors today, and it's thrown very well from Dana Vicich. Gonna give himself back-to-back tap-in birdies.
Take a big flare skip here.
Oh yeah.
Well done.
So with his 3 card mates parked for birdie now, Eric McCabe sitting in deep circle 2, just trying to save a par.
Yeah, unfortunately going to pay the price, taking the bogey. Everyone else seems to be tapping in for their birdies here. And this hole did play pretty tough on the day. 0.62 over par. And we're seeing 3 of the birdies.
Yeah, kind of surprising, but anytime you have tight out of bounds like this, it's inevitably going to cause trouble.
Yeah, we're going to go to hole 6. This is a par 3, 300 feet, elevated basket. Cart path to the left is OB. There's a tall grass area that is OB as well.
Yeah, but not too much danger in general on this hole. Pretty much just a wide open par 3 in the short pin that they're playing to today. whatever disc you want to throw straight 300 feet. If these guys don't have this shot dialed in by now, I don't know what they've been doing for the past 10 plus 20 plus years.
Yeah. Yeah, with no wind to really see, this is like you said.
Though Dave comes up a bit short, or maybe more left than short there. Gonna be right around circle's edge still. Looking to pick up a birdie on this elevated basket. This one's leaking too.
Yeah, he didn't like it. I think it was low out of his hand. I think this climbs uphill a bit, and that one just didn't get the height.
Yeah, so just outside the circle now for McCabe. A lot of chains on the left side there, but doesn't stick for him.
Bye, David.
That's a solid strike.
Yep, knocks it down. Hole 6 did play, not very surprisingly, as the easiest hole on the course at a 2.76 average. So this one is definitely a must-get birdie.
Going in a turkey for Dana Vicich after the rough start. Or just one hole, really. He's to 2 under.
Yeah, good way to get his round going. Joe trying to match him here. Get himself to a nice hot start, forward down through 6. Exactly what you want to do out here at the newly coined Champions Landing.
In a backyard kingdom, not so different from your own. A prince of southern royalty was born of the plastic stone.
Here we are at hole 7. This is a par 4, 678 feet. OB to the left and to the right. Teeing off, you kind of got to go over the OB. Once you get past all that, you have kind of a clear shot up into this pin. Obviously, the cart paths are OB left and right. So, but the tough part is executing this tee shot. Really tight gap off the tee.
Yeah, and kind of a low ceiling, high floor situation before that downhill starts. So you really want to test that branch if possible off the tee just to get as much distance as possible.
Yeah, and it is important to note, I forgot to note, you are teeing off from out of bounds. So if you do not cross in, there is a drop zone. But we're hoping we don't got to worry about that.
Maybe some slight overcorrections from the first 2 guys coming out a bit low. Dave, with a really nice height on this one, gets a full flight.
Unreal. That's so good. You get down to that like little divot, the little slope there. That's a great shot.
Yeah, should have a pretty straightforward shot into the green from there. This is a bit low from McCabe, but a really nice skip there to get him out of that out-of-bounds area.
Woo! That's a little nerve-wracking right there.
Yeah, especially that kind of landed on a little bit of Annie. Sometimes that can just kind of curl up.
Just got to get down.
Yeah, fading out left.
Man. Yeah, you can see he kind of knew it out of his hand, too. And there's so much room to the right. He's got to be kicking himself for that one.
Yeah, Dana's had some early struggles with some of his release angles, I think. Just not quite turning the disc as much as he'd like out of his hand a couple of times. This looks like a perfect line from McCabe heading into the green and lands it soft.
And here's what Dave is left with. Just a little chip hyzer up to the basket. Perfectly executed.
Yeah, he really earned that birdie off the tee with a huge drive. Set him up with a nice easy birdie. So Dana will be looking to save the bogey after that errant second shot. Ooh, it's
What a
Joe
putt.
Rovere. Drops one in from circle 2. He is officially on a heater now after 4 in a row, making that one from deep. Guy's not messing around, looking to go 3 straight Masters World titles would be something special.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and he's got this guy, Mr. Feldberg, who had taken the 3 before that. So looking to catch that record. Right here at hole 8, this is a par 5, 886 feet, elevated tee pad, OB to the right of the cart path, OB to the left of these flags, all the way down. Obviously, water is OB too. Basket stands alone here. Keep it in bounds. That's the name of the game on this hole.
Yeah, easier said than done. I think we're going to see most of these guys take the safe route, which is just a nice layup with a putter or a mid-range to the bottom of this hill. That's the nice fat part of the fairway. It's really, if you want to get aggressive, you can try to get to the top where it pinches a little more, but it's very difficult to keep a disc still in bounds at that point.
It is, and one of the reasons being is these guys are throwing high speed. You know, to get there, like Dave, like Feldberg does, you got to throw the high speed driver, and that landing zone slopes right to left, so it overemphasizes that skip. So you got to be really careful. Yeah, that looked like his mid range.
Yeah, slower disc. You saw that like little bit of flip up and push from that. Not going to get almost any ground play at all. This is a bit wider. Is going to need to finish to get back. No. Oh, it hit the lip of the cart path and stays out of bounds. What a terrible break.
Gosh. I don't know if I've seen that on this hole before. Sit. Oh my gosh. Did that stay in?
I think it did.
Wow.
What a series of breaks for Dana Vicich. Oh my gosh, just an absolute roller coaster of a hole so far.
Here's Joe getting that little turn, which is what you want over that hill. I know it looked like he was going to be pretty much off to the right or center, but once you get over the hill, it really slopes right to left, and you can see the gravity of that just take that disc down to the left. So he's in a good spot.
Yeah, and in the shorter pin on this hole is eagleable if you decide to get aggressive off the tee. But if you play like these guys are, just, 3, that looked like that same disc that McCabe just threw twice in a row. It's pretty much just like a chip up the fairway and take your quote-unquote easy birdie.
Yep. Dave Feldberg does a good job as well. And here is Vicich just on the edge of the OB. Clear shot in, though.
Yeah, still a great opportunity to save a par if he can put this one close. And yeah, that's going to give him a putt.
Chip forehand gives it a little bit of a run. And why not?
Yeah, had a chance to drop in. Yeah, I mean, you can see these guys after going mid-range have probably less than 200 feet into the green. So, coming down the stretch in later rounds, if somebody needs to make a push, we might see some more aggressive play on this hole. But for now, it's just round 1. These guys are more than happy to just take a nice stress-free birdie.
That is a
good par save there from Vicich. Obviously a tough break off the tee, but that hole could have went a lot differently depending on how that second shot ended up.
Yeah, those mistakes can compound pretty quickly, so good job cleaning it up. Everyone else here is tapping in their birdies. I'm going to finish up this front 9 on hole 9, par 4, 693 feet. Your tee is elevated. You need to make it past the ditch and the water into this inbound zone. There's OB still left, OB still right. And you got to go back up the hill, dogleg to the right. So this is a challenging tee shot. If you do not make it inbounds off of the drive, there is a drop zone that the players will go to.
That is a great drive from Rovere. Pushing the left side is great because it'll open up the angle he has into the green for his second if he wants to try to get aggressive and pick up the birdie. This one's a little more turned. Does fight through to the fairway, but I think that's just going to be a layup on Dave's next shot from there.
Yeah, but you'll take that. As soon as you pull that, you're thinking, I'm going to the drop zone. I love this hyzer flip slow turn. That's kind of the perfect shape you need. Even gets a little slide out of it.
Yeah, nice shot from McCabe. Yeah, this is obviously, as you can see, one of the most demanding tee shots on the course. And most punishing if you don't execute it well.
Come on, baby.
This is going to need a little bit of luck. And it gets through. Wow. So all 4 guys end up inbounds after, a couple of those drives were not ideal. But, yeah, hey, if it's in, it's in.
So here you can see the towering Anheuser shot. You got to throw to get into this pin, and that looked amazing.
Yeah, what a shot from Rovere. I think he should be inside the circle, if not closer. That was perfectly thrown. Now you can see just how steep of an angle Feldberg has to work with, but he executes it well. Comes up a bit short, but that's still a great spot from being so pinched on this right-hand side of the fairway.
Yeah, the angle you need to put on this disc is like, think about the angle you would put on it. It's more. It's more than you think.
Yeah, like not a bad shot from Dana. Just comes up probably 100 feet short, though. Doesn't quite give it the height. McCabe pretty far down the fairway, but also a bit pinched on this right-hand side. And yeah, that should be nice.
Yeah, that's a looking for his bird.
Oh gosh, yeah, you can just see how close Joe ended up. What an
Unreal.
insane shot.
And this is a touchy up shot. It's a somewhat of a fast green, sloping downhill. Dana does a good job to check it in there.
This is just a layup, yeah, from Feldberg. That low ceiling. McCabe got to run this one from circle's edge. Oh yeah.
Yes!
Great birdie putt from Eric McCabe. On hole 9, playing as the hardest hole on the course. 2 birdies.
Oh.
And we saw both of them.
Extra spot.
There it is. And Joe is just on a freaking heater, continues his heater. And he's 7 down through the front 9.
With 7 in a row.
Unreal.
kind of bonkers. Or sorry, 6 in a row. I'll correct myself. Still wildly impressive to get off to this fire start. These other guys just trying to do their best to keep up. Not bad golf though at all. We got some other pretty good rounds. Jeff Faye's 7 down as well. We'll see if Joe can keep it going on the back 9 here. Coming up, make sure to tune in. We got plenty of golf coming your way this week for the Masters World Championships. We'll see you there.